Star Wars 7x7 episode 2480. It's a Spinner Sunday episode, and we're actually going off the spinner and back to the conclusion of a short story for the High Republic. It's called First Duty by Cavan Scott. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So, issue number 202 of Star Wars Insider is out, and as we've talked about previously on the show, it is now including original short fiction and specifically High Republic short fiction. The second story to be released is this story by Cavan Scott, First Duty, and the initial setup from issue 201 was such that I thought maybe it was going to be, too big. It's too big to be done in just 2 installments, but not the case. This is actually the conclusion of First Duty, and just to give you the quick refresher on the story as it had happened, in the first part, there is a new administrator coming to the Starlight Beacon station, and this is Valko Jahan, like that, Valko Jahan. And we are also reintroduced to Rodor Keen, who is a head of operations for the station, and Gail Tarpfen, and not Gail like Jail Akbar, but a different spelling basically, and different different name. Tarpfen is the head of security, also a Mon Cala. And this is basically the deal. Without too much in the way of spoilers, I will say that in the first part, there is an Ambassador Cyril who is possibly assassinated, and I say possibly because it turns out that it gets a little more complicated than that. And there's a Jedi named Installment Maru who doesn't have a specific role, at least it's not given in either of the parts of the story, but is somebody who apparently works with this head of operations, Rodor Keen, on a regular basis, and they don't get along very well, and so I would imagine that as the Jedi and the Republic are co-managing this station, and Installment Maru is probably the Jedi equivalent of the head of operations who's looking for ways to improve efficiency and whatnot. That at least was established previously. But it's Installment that ends up directing our heroine, Valko Jahan, in the direction of the solution to the assassination attempt. And that in itself is kind of interesting in its way, because if the Jedi had some sensation about what might have happened and how it might have been done, then I'm not really sure why he didn't necessarily just say outright, hey, go investigate this. Instead, he just kind of slyly says something to Velko when nobody else is around, and that causes Velko to go pursue an avenue of inquiry and ultimately solve the crime. And so whereas I thought this thing could be expanded to 3 parts because they might have to reveal who actually performed the dirty deed, and then maybe there would be some sort of pursuit to justice or anything like that. Well, it doesn't quite happen like that. They figure out who the bad guy is, and they mete out justice right in this story. So it's actually pretty quick in the way it unfolds. But what it really goes to show you is that Star Wars is really just an amazing storytelling vehicle. Just what you can fit into a Star Wars story and have it be a Star Wars story, even though it is of an entirely different genre, is amazing. And I think back to the notion that Star Wars is often categorized as a space opera, which basically is a soap opera in space. And if you think about soap operas, if you're familiar with them, then you know that all sorts of strange things happen in them, including murder mysteries, right? I mean, think back all the way to like when I was young, when the TV show Dallas was on the air, and there was the whole Who Shot JR thing that was the talk of the nation at the time. Like, that was one of the nighttime soap opera situations, or even going back to Luke and Laura on General Hospital, and all sorts of crazy mysteries and adventures that happen in those sorts of things, and they can all be contained within the world of a soap opera. And the same seems to go with Star Wars, that all of these different genre types can be contained within the space opera, whether it's a mystery like what happens with First Duty, or whether it's a Western with The Mandalorian, or oh gosh, we're gonna get a spy story with Andor, for example, pretty soon. So it's very cool that it's just so flexible and allows for so many different types of storytelling. So First Duty was good fun, and it wraps up in this issue. And the next story that they're going to tell is going to be the first of a two-parter from Justina Ireland. And we don't have any other information about it other than it's coming to Star Wars Insider issue 203. It'll be part 1. It'll be by Justina Ireland. It'll be focused on the High Republic. And that's it. So when it comes out, we'll chat about it here on the show. And if you've had a chance to read it and want to talk about it, at least the the one that we just discussed, First Duty, then chime in wherever you catch this episode, YouTube or Facebook, or if you want to check in on Twitter, that's great too, or at home base for the show at sw7x7.com. And that is going to do it for our show today. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it, as always, and may the Force be with you, wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.